Ready? Let me know when you're live. Call the work session for the City of Grovetown Council meeting to order, February the 9th, 2026. Those that are with us the first time, the work session is a less formal event where we just go through the agenda for discussion, and hopefully we'll end that and go straight into the council meeting at 6:30. If you're following along with us, either by hand agenda or up on the board, you'll see that we skipped through the agenda. So just follow along with us. The first item would be item number 7, the financial statement, be provided by our finance director and assistant city administrator, Bradley Smith.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor and council, you have in front of you the financial highlights as of January 31st, 2026. You'll note our ideal remaining percentage is approximately 42%. You will note that currently all 3 of our funds are below this number. The general fund is purely related to the construction of the depot. The costs were higher than expected in this current year. When we went to prepare the budget last year, we didn't know how far along in the process we would be. So again, that funding is already there. It's just I can't make an adjustment until I bring it to you all to vote and approve those adjustments. So once we do, if you were to take the depot project out, we're actually right about that 44% number. So we're very comfortable when it comes to the general fund. Water and sewer, if you remember, last month I brought to you all the discussion regarding the credit card processing fees and how we were negotiating those down because they had gotten to about approximately 12 to 13% of our total collections, which was about $50,000 to $55,000 each month. We have been able to negotiate those back down. We are actually going to be paying anywhere from $12,000 to $14,000 per month, which is going to save the water and sewer system approximately $40,000 a month. We are still looking into potential other credit card processing companies, as well as maybe the way that the citizens are being charged. Hopefully we can actually reduce that as well. We have a call Friday with another credit card processing company for us to review those as well. And of course, we'll bring that all to you. But as of now, since we have not changed a credit card processing company, simply just renegotiated our rates, there was no reason to bring that contract to you all for approval. The last is stormwater. Stormwater is low primarily because of a large expense that happened early in the year. As you've noticed, we're actually getting closer to that ideal remaining percentage number. But again, with such a small fund, one major expense throws you out for the whole year. You'll note that our SPLOST and T-SPLOST accounts are continuing to accrue money. We will start seeing significant reductions in the SPLOST 2023 to 2028 fund. As many of you are aware, and I'm sure you've probably received some calls from citizens from the amount of trees that have been knocked down out at Liberty Park, as we have officially started the expansion there. They are taking those trees down very quickly. It looks completely different out there. But the first phase is to remove the trees, and then they're going to come behind, and then they're going to start doing the leveling and the grading. And then, of course, we'll install the roads and storm pipes and water and sewer lines. But again, this first phase, I know a lot of people want to see everything. And trust me, if we could, we would give you everything. But this first phase is installing a lot of the bones for future phases so that we're not having to go back and then install water lines. We're doing it while the ground's disturbed, sewer lines, storm pipes. These are all things that we're trying to do in the first phase so that we don't have to end up paying more in future phases. So at the end of this first phase, you're going to see a new road constructed and a very large sprinkled green field. That's pretty much what's coming out of this first phase that you're going to be able to see. But underneath the ground will be water lines, sewer lines, storm drains, all the things that would be very costly if we didn't address it in phase 1. And then as we move on into future SPLOST, we hope to be able to do more phases, and we'll bring that to the voters when the time comes. But barring that, Mr. Mayor and Council, that's all I have, unless there's any questions related to the financials.
Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
my ever-repeated question at the meetings,
What you got?
where do we stand with FEMA?
Oh, I did mean to say that. It was actually something I was going to report later on, but I'll go ahead and report it now. We collected Friday $1.2 million of the 1.9 that is owed to us. So a little over 1.2, actually probably closer to 1.3. So we actually made that deposit on Friday. So that money is in the bank. We still have about $590,000 left outstanding. I did get an email this morning that those had been approved, which they had previously been approved. So I don't know why I got a second email about it. So we're just waiting on those last 2 checks. One of them is about $565,000. The other one's about $15,000. So once we collect those 2 checks, the FEMA project related to Hurricane Helene will be completely closed, and we're going to end up collecting right at 1.8, 1.9 million in total.
In the future,
Yes, sir.
don't bury the lead of the good news.
That's fair.
Because-
That's fair. I always like to get the
Please-
negative first.
please-
It can only
please-
go uphill.
Please don't bury the lead, you know. That,
Yeah.
we want to know that we're going to be fully reimbursed.
We are, and so we still have to wait for the GMA side of things. So we still haven't gotten full word on that. Remember, after the first, 60 days or 90 days, I believe, the 75% kicked in. So GMA still has to kick in the other 25%. I do not have an update on that as of yet.
Okay.
So as we get closer, GMA's kind of playing that close to their vest right now. So, which I can't blame them because it's a significant amount. So,
Okay. All right.
but yes, great news. I'm sorry, I should have let off with that.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother. Item 11, discuss the establishment of a historical preservation committee. Members of the council, I would like to create a historical committee in the future, and I've kind of highlighted its purpose. And this anointed body protects a community's historic, cultural, and agricultural resources by identifying, documenting, and designating landmarks and districts. They will review proposed exterior changes, demolitions, or new construction in protected areas to ensure compatibility with local guidelines. Their main responsibilities or core responsibilities would be designation and inventory of the properties, review the processes for certificates of appropriateness, guidelines enforcement, education and promotion to our citizens, and serve as advisory role positions. Anybody have any comments or questions regarding that? And I would like to talk a little bit more with the city administrator before we move on it, so it may not be the next council meeting that I act on it. Okay? Move along to item 14, new business. 14A, recommend adoption of Resolution 2026-02-01, five-year update of the 2026 through 2031 Comprehensive Plan. Our Planning and Community Development Director, Jock Palmer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Blair, and esteemed council members. I'm excited to get to this point. It's been almost a year-long path to get here. We had several stakeholder meetings, community engagements, and all that, but I won't get into the details right now. But what I'd like to do is, once you approve and pass this resolution, that comprehensive plan will take into effect as our guidance for the next 5 years. But at this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. John Tooley with Kimley Horn, who is our consultant. And without them, we wouldn't be at this point right now. But I'd like to turn it over to Mr. John Tooley.
Thanks, Jack. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good to be with you all again. As Jack said, it's been a journey, and we've arrived at the end finally. Got a few slides just to walk you through the comprehensive plan, talk a little bit about what's in there, kind of the process we went through, and then happy to obviously answer any questions that you all might have. Next slide. Again, so quick overview on the project itself. As Jack mentioned, we did a series of stakeholder and community engagement activities. There's some planned components that go through, and then I'll just briefly mention sort of what's next after this. Next slide. Here you see again, we've arrived at the end. There were kind of three overall phases for the plan. The beginning was a baseline existing conditions assessment, looked at data and demographics, went through the core of the plan development phase. That's where we kind of assess things like land use and other elements within the plan, and then moving on through adoption at this point as well. We began roughly in last April, May, if you will. It's kind of when we began in earnest with staff, and the bulk of the work really was kind of end of spring, summer, and then early fall was where most of the work happened. It then went off to the Atlanta Regional Commission, the Central Savannah Regional Commission and Department of Community Affairs for their review. They do kind of a cursory regional and state level review just to make sure the components are in there that they require, and then sent that back. It received their approval, and so that's why we're now back here tonight for your consideration for adoption. Next slide. Here's a quick outline of some of the events and things that we did. You'll see listed first are the two required public hearings. So the state actually requires that you have a public hearing at the beginning of the process, and then a public hearing before it goes off to the Regional Commission and the state for review. So we kind of bookended the process with that. There were 3 stakeholder meetings. So there's a stakeholder committee made up of representatives from the committee, from the community, both folks that have familiarity with the city, maybe they serve on planning commission or another role, or another interested citizen that's involved. We had 3 community meetings here at City Hall. We also had one pop-up at Summer Jam as well to make sure we were connecting with folks where they were. We had an online survey that was open for several months, and of course had the project webpage where folks could keep up with the project as it went along. The draft plan was made available for several months, and then as I mentioned, the Georgia Department of Community Affairs and the Regional Commission reviewed version is online at this point as well. Next slide. So comprehensive plan, a lot of y'all probably know exactly what this is. At its core, it is a land use plan. That is kind of the heart of the comprehensive plan, but as the name mentions, comprehensive, it includes other elements as well. So it touches on things related to transportation or economic development and things like that. There are some elements that are required by the state, but at its core, it is a land use plan. And the key piece of it is what you see on the slide there, which is the character area map. And this provides guidance and suggested direction on potential future development, so that as there are development considerations and rezonings that come before you all and staff, you can make your decisions using this as one of the primary inputs. Not the only input, but one of the primary inputs into your decisions. And so as you walk through the bullets there, the beginning of the plan is Grovetown today, just looking at where are we as a community, what are our demographic makeups, look at the needs and opportunities facing the community today. That was revisited with the community. The core of it, again, is the community vision and recommendations. That's where that character area map is nested within there. And then toward the end is one required element by DCA is a report of accomplishments. So taking a look at the last plan, the work program from there, what have we accomplished, what do we still have left to do, and then ultimately the community work program, which again is not the work program for the community, but as it relates to comprehensive plans and land use planning, some key elements and items related to implementation. Next slide. So that's all I have. Just wanted to be quick and brief. Happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
John, as I recall, in terms of your community outreach, you got a lot of feedback, and correct me if I'm wrong, from a lot of young citizens. Is that, am I remembering correctly? And if that's the case, just if you'd comment on that, and is that typically unusual when you've seen this happen, or do we have a special group of younger citizens in there that have that interest in the future of where the city goes?
Yeah, well, I'm streaming now, so I'd say you all do have a special set of citizens here in Grovetown, but I think, you know, it really depends on the community. We meant to go out to Summer Jam so that we could interact with more folks. It's hard for folks to sometimes make it out to City Hall on a random weeknight. And so that's definitely where we ran into a lot of young families, young couples that lived here. Some that actually wanted to live here and just lived just outside the city, and so they were interested stakeholders and were wishing that they had more opportunities to kind of live within the city, but identified as living near Grovetown. I'd say that oftentimes you get folks that come out to community meetings, and sometimes that's folks that just happen to have a little more time on their hands. So it was good to see the engagement that we saw. I will say what was interesting too, when we asked folks, what are you most interested in or excited about? Folks are really excited about what the city is doing in the downtown, the things that you're trying to do here, excited about the depot, excited about the parks that you all have, excited about the things that are happening that are on the way. So there was a lot of interest and excitement about Grovetown continuing to grow into the community that it is as well. A lot of it from the younger folks who are looking for a place to go on the weeknights or on the weekends.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 14B, recommend adoption of Resolution 2026-02-02, resolution to declare items as surplus property.
Yes, sir. Mayor and council, tonight you'll see a list of items from the fire department, about 800 feet worth of fire hose and some turnout gear that is just needing to be surplused. These items are costly in nature, so we have to bring them to you to surplus them. However, they are of no longer any use to the city of Grovetown. So tonight, we're just asking you to approve that surplus so that we can have them destroyed and get rid of them. But again, needed to bring this to you so that we could go through the correct process.
Thank you, sir. That concludes the work session. So we will adjourn and reconvene at precisely 6:30. I call the Grovetown City Hall meeting to order February the 9th, 2026. We do have a quorum present. If you would, rise for me for the invocation that will be given by our city ambassador and former councilwoman Sylvia Martin, and remain standing after that for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Council and all those in attendance, if you would bow your heads, please. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We thank you, Lord, for the beautiful day that you gave us today. I pray that as we go about the business of the city, Lord, that your hand will be in it, and everything that is done will be done for the good of the city and for your glory. Please take us home safely when we leave here tonight, and in everything we'll give you the praise and the honor and the glory. For it's in thy precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone that's present, and also to those that are watching on Facebook Live. If you're a citizen in the room tonight and would like to make a comment, on the back table, there's forms to fill out, and if you'll hand it over here to the city clerk to be passed up to us. Also, if you have cell phones, please silence them or put them on vibrate. All right, I'll call for item number 3 for a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the agenda as printed. Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, cast your votes at this time. Motion carries. Item 4, approval of the January 12th, 2026 regular meeting minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the January 12th, 2026 regular meeting minutes as presented.
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
Any discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, cast your votes. Motion carries. Item 5, approval of January 12th, 2026 executive session minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the January 12th, 2026 executive session minutes as presented.
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No discussion.
Hearing none, cast your votes. Motion carries. Item 6, committee reports, public safety, Councilman Blair.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to all that are joining us here in the council chambers this evening. And thank you all for those of you that are joining us on Facebook Live. I'm going to present the public safety report for the city of Grovetown. So for the month of January, our fire department responded to 40 fires, 69 calls for rescue and EMS, for a total of 109 calls for the month of January. Our Fire Marshal Donahue, updated 28 pre-plans of local businesses. He conducted 54 fire inspections, and he made 24 business contacts. Our Fire Marshal, along with Chief Kent, they attended a meeting at the Columbia County Wellstar Hospital regarding their fire alarm system. Our Fire Chief attended a hazmat certification training down at Augusta Regional Airport. And our both fire stations, Station 1 and Station 2, have the new alert system from Motorola and Mach Alerting that was installed. Lieutenant McFatridge conducted basic life-saving CPR and AED recertifications for Shift 1, and he conducted fire department communications training with Shifts 1 and 3, and firefighter McAvoy conducted medical training with Shifts 1 and 3. So shifting gears, our police department for the month of January responded to 4,303 calls. Over the last 30 days, they have made 30 arrests. Our CID opened 14 cases. They closed 15. Our K-9 units, and we have 2 of them, conducted 116 traffic stops, made 1 arrest, issued 31 citations, gave 43 warnings, and removed 3 uninsured vehicles from the roadway. I want to point out that Officer Harris Jenkins with Banner and Sergeant Brittany Nelson with Boris do an outstanding job. And if you all don't know what they do. I mean, it sounds like, okay, they made 116 traffic stops, but those traffic stops have resulted in some Schedule II pills being taken off the street, some drugs. I'm talking oxycodone, I'm talking marijuana that has been taken off the street. And because we have arrested people that have transport with intent to distribute, the cash that's seized, the vehicles and seized after adjudication, that comes to the police department for disposition. So kudos to both Officer Harris Jenkins and Sergeant Brittany Nelson and their partners Banner and Boris for what they do. As a matter of fact, over the last 24 hours, they've even taken some more drugs off the street. Took off, I think Harris got 3/4 of an ounce today, I think it was. Was it 3/4 of an ounce? Just recently here in the last couple hours, taking it off the street. So kudos to both our canine officers and handlers. Congratulations to our chief and Chief Kitchens and Captain Loomer. They achieved their advanced certification in law enforcement. And Chief Kitchens took it one step further. He achieved his executive certification in law enforcement. Sergeant Rodman and Captain Loomer, both present. They completed their unmanned aerial surveillance safety test drone operations certification course. We'll have a drone here. We have a drone. We're getting ready to get some guys or some folks qualified to operate it. So you'll see a drone flying around here very, very shortly. Captain Powell and Sergeant Napier, they completed their TASER instructor recertification, and all members of the department have completed the Criminal Justice Network Operations Certification Course, GCIC, and their security policy awareness training course that's required yearly. And just one more note before I conclude. I just want to take a moment to thank all of our first responders who serve this community every day. Their commitment, their professionalism, their willingness to step forward in difficult moments all too often happens quietly and without fanfare. And because of that, the stories that they do are not always heard. But those stories matter. And I think we all need to take the time to listen to those stories, to listen to what they go through or what they see out there. And it helps us better understand the sacrifices that each of them make every day on behalf of us citizens. And so tonight, without further ado, we're going to have the opportunity to recognize a couple of our Grovetown police officers whose actions reflect that same quiet dedication to service. They did what was right, and they did it without expectation of recognition, simply because that's who they are, and that's what they do day in and day out. And this isn't about a headline, this isn't about accolades, but this is about pausing long enough for us to acknowledge the moments that they go through and understand what they deal with each and every day, and the story behind what it is that they do, because each and every one of our first responders truly makes a difference in this community. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Chief Kitchens if you'll join me at the podium so we can recognize our officers this evening.
Officer Jenkins, Officer Hughes, and Officer Fleming join us up here, please. So I just want to share real quick with y'all what transpired last Tuesday, which was on the 3rd. These officers were dispatched to a call regarding a suicidal subject. Was armed with a butcher knife, had already given himself a pretty substantial laceration on the arm. When they arrived, he was standing in the middle of the street, still armed with the knife. once they exited their vehicles, they immediately began trying to establish some kind of rapport with him, telling him to drop the knife. He was in a state where he was not wanting to hear anything that they had to say. As y'all know, I'm a huge proponent for our body cameras. When I was able to watch that footage, this was textbook of what you want to see officers do. They coordinated, they triangulated. There was no crossfire scenarios, anything like that. Two of them deployed or had their less lethal platform, which was the taser. One of them maintained a firearm. They continued to give commands to him, was not wanting to listen. While they were dealing with this, family members were attempting to interject themselves into the situation, if you will. Not necessarily helping the situation by some of the stuff that they were shouting to the individual. At that point, he began to raise the knife up to his neck and placed it to his neck as if he was fixing to go ahead and cut himself. Officer Hughes and Officer Fleming then deployed their tasers. At that point, when the tasers hit him, he immediately dropped the knife. I can say that I think this is probably the first time that I've ever seen someone remain flat-footed, standing up straight when they were being tased. That's what transpired. He did not fall to the ground. Officer Jenkins seized on that opportunity and ran up and was able to kick the knife down the street. At that point, he was taken into custody. Fire and EMS had been on the way. They then walked him over there for him to be able to get some treatment on the laceration that he had caused to his arm. In speaking with the family afterwards, he had told them that, hey, I'm fixing to go out here and I'm gonna make the police kill me. And we see that on a regular basis. You hear suicide by cop, and that is what a lot of folks do. When I watched all three videos, I can stand here and tell you I was extremely proud of how they composed themselves, because it very easily could have gone any other way. And the way in which they handled themselves, the way in which they handled him afterwards is fantastic. And I think that they need to see that we see that, instead of just saying, oh, well, good, that was a good call, get yourself cleaned up and go to your next call. Y'all need to know that we watch that, and y'all need to know that we appreciate that. And so we wanted to give them some recognition tonight for that. I will spare you the wordy commendations that I typed up, because we'll be here another 15 minutes and nobody wants to hear all that. But we do have 3 commendations for them, and I just wanted to make sure that the city and especially the council and the mayor and all that, y'all know that y'all have some fine officers out here that are doing a jam-up job. So that's it.
Thank you for what you all do every day. I think you all deserve a round of applause. All right, sir, pending any questions, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Item 6B, utility billing and utility services, Councilwoman Simpkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening to everyone that's here and all that's joining us Facebook Live. Your Grovetown Utilities Report as follows. Utility service information. The Utility Service Department experienced no let me say no. No events that were directly related to the ice storm or snowstorms. So I think that's just awesome. The Water Department completed 76 trash can service orders, performed 571 other service orders, performed 26 water meter histories, repaired 8 water leaks, and 5 water meters were installed. Those were new ones. 48 meters were replaced. For our stormwater department, they were totally prepared for our ice and snowstorm. They did a major overhaul to both retention ponds in the rear of Harvestwood. Our wastewater, they fueled the generators, they fueled tanks, and they were very prepared for the ice and snowstorms. Assisted other departments in for various tasks, assisted the water meter reading with the readings, especially during this time. I can understand that. The water treatment, wastewater treatment plant. Landon Summers was promoted to the waste plant trainee. We discharged 33 million gallons of treated water, wastewater to Butler Creek. We used 39.3% of the plant's capacity. Sent 5 dumpsters of sludge to the landfill. Equipment availability was at 75% overall during the month. And also Basin 3 and 1 disc filter was out of service. Restart is delayed for new employee training purposes. And that concludes our report. Pending any questions, thank you.
Thank you. 6C, Planning and Development, Councilman Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening to all of you here in the room and those online. The Planning and Development Department in the previous month, as it relates to business and development, there were 221 building inspections performed. There were 21 certificates of occupancy issued, 13 new business licenses, and there were 54 building permits issued. On the code enforcement side of the office, there were actually 0 overgrown vegetation cases, which is unusual. I hope that continues into the spring and the summer. That in fact it means that our residents are being a little more conscientious of their properties. Only 1 trash can violation, and that is in the form of either notices of violations, written warnings, and/or verbal warnings. 6 inoperative vehicles. There were actually 5 of those were written warnings. 1 was simply a notice of violation. There were 2 banners removed. There were 3 business license checks, that is in order to confirm that a business is operating with the proper licensing completed. 9 bulk waste violations. Now that we don't have vegetation to be concerned about, I hope that our residents will take the opportunity to focus on bulk waste and keeping within the code. 3 cases for property maintenance. There was 1 construction permit check. There were 2 civil matters. There were 4 parking violations that were observed and 3 obstructions of the right-of-way. Just want to double-check my numbers here. I found it. I thought I was missing something that was important. We had to remove 38 signs from the right-of-ways. So obviously, the signs being in the right-of-way are not a result since we're past the election cycle. I just want to again remind folks that whether it's someone doing construction on your property or whomever, keep in mind that that sign cannot be in the right-of-way. It has to be on your property. And if it is in the right-of-way, by code, the city has the right to remove it. So please, just be careful. Move it back a few feet or whatever is necessary to get it out of the right-of-way, and it'll save you the problem of seeing that sign has been removed. In addition to those actions, sort of the normal operating actions of the office, Mr. Mayor, also there has been a new code enforcement software package that has been installed in that office, and we're looking forward to it helping our code enforcement officers more effectively execute their jobs. We won't see the results for a few months. As a matter of fact, a training for the staff on that code enforcement software just happened last week. Am I right, Jack? Yeah, that was last week. Time goes by so fast, sometimes we forget. But so they've already started the training on that new software, and as I said, we are looking forward to it being more effective in helping them do their jobs more completely and more efficiently. And with that, sir, unless there's any questions, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Item D, General Services, Councilwoman Rivera.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, and thank you also to the member of the council and the person who's here in the room, also the Facebook Live. I'm gonna read the report for general service, and that report is as follows. First, Streets and Sanitation Department. Our leader crew collect a total of 71 33-gallon bags of litter from city streets and sidewalks. Street and Sanitation collect a total of 125.93 tons of bulk and yard waste during the month of January. The Streets Department has completed 14 service orders for the month of January. The Streets Department reported 14 inoperable city street lights to Georgia Power for repair. Streets and Sanitation issue 31 bulk trash yard waste violation tags for the month of January, turning 5 over to code enforcement for non-compliance. The Streets and Sanitation Department assisted 31 citizens with calls for the month of January. Fill potholes and repaired or replaced signs in various neighborhoods within city limits. Used Elgin Street sweeper to clean up city streets, collecting 10.33 tons of waste debris. Utilize arm mower to cut overhanging limbs in the avenues and surrounding streets. Remove all Christmas lights decor within city limits, organized and stored. Assisted Utility Service Department with cleaning storm ditch drains within city limits. Prep city streets and sidewalks for winter weather. Prep equipment and all city generators. Leisure and Recreation Department. Total hours filled and facilities used, 87. New contracts, 34. Contracts returned with payment, 26. New gym memberships, 4. Apply chemicals where applicable for weed and fungus and insect control. Cut grass, edge, weed-eated, and clean sidewalks at recreation and city facilities throughout the city. Maintain flowers, plants throughout the city. Water, replant, replace, and add season-friendly flowers and plants in beds at city facilities, parks, and welcome signs. All fields well prepped daily, drag and chalk, grass around fields cut, maintained. Deep clean Liberty Park Community Center, concessions area and bathroom cleaned and sanitized weekly. Remove all Christmas lights decor within city limits, organize and store. Employees attend GRPA certification, assisted in setting up the new museum for opening, assisted in setting up, tear down, clean up for events, meetings at the Grovetown Depot, mulch, leave, pull weeds, and keep recreation spaces and facilities clean and tidy. Prepared recreation facility parking lots, sidewalks, and community spaces for winter weather. Set up, attend, tear down, clean up for the grand opening of the Grovetown Depot. Facility Maintenance Department. Complete a total of 56 work orders for various facilities throughout the city for the month of January. Fleet Maintenance Report. Completed 41 vehicle repair orders for the month of January. 2026 upcoming events. February 14, 2026 is going to be the Golden Years, Golden Hearts Senior Dance at the new Grovetown Home Depot from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And on March 13, 2026, we're going to have our first downtown jam food truck event, spring kickoff of at the municipal courthouse, 113 East Robinson Avenue from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that concludes our report for our general service departments.
Okay,
Any questions?
thank you, ma'am. Item E, administration, nothing to report unless you have something, Bradley, you'd like to. Okay. Okay, I call for a motion for the financial statement, item 7.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the financial statement as presented.
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
Any discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, cast your votes. Motion carries. Item 8, Employee of the Month. Our Finance Director and Assistant City Administrator, Bradley Smith, will present that.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. This poor employee has to deal with me this month instead of Miss Elaine, and she does such a great job every month. However, this month I am going to ask Mr. Ron Moore to come join us. I'm also going to ask Mr. Lyons to come join us as well. Ron has been with the city since 2019. This will be his second time winning this award. That just is a testimony to his continued good work. He is a water operator with us. And although I don't have many interactions with Ron, I have seen him working around. He does a great job keeping our system clean. But I don't want to get in too much detail, as I want to make sure that his director, Keith, will be able to tell you a lot more than I can. So, Keith, go ahead. Share a few words for us.
Yeah, Ron came to the city about 6 years ago, and he came from another industry, so he didn't have a lot of experience in water. Since then, he's worked his way up and he's become the water operator. And he's the guy that pulls the samples and monitors our drinking water every day to make sure it's safe for us, make sure it complies with state laws, state and federal laws, and also make sure we have good pressure in the city. But not only that, outside of that, Ron still goes back and repairs water leaks, he reads meters, anything we ask him to do. So, yeah, Ron's a great asset to the city, and he also continues to improve. You know, expanding his knowledge base and learn more about the water utility department. So, say thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
On the back of that certificate should be a gift card. Item 9, Vietnam Veterans Recognition, Councilman Richard Bowman.
Tonight, we have a little bit different situation than we normally do. Usually, I'm able to call a veteran here to the microphone with me so that we can welcome them home properly, the way that so many Vietnam veterans were not welcomed home. Unfortunately, our veteran tonight, Staff Sergeant Fred Mitchell, is not with us because we lost him. And I hope that all of us, as I tell you about Staff Sergeant Mitchell, that you are reminded of that saying today that goes around, is that all give some, but some give all. Fred W. Mitchell was born on September 30th, 1939, a Grovetown native. He was sent to Vietnam in 1967 at 27 years of age. He enlisted in the United States Army. Staff Sergeant Mitchell was a specialist in light weapons infantry. He was attached to the 101st Airborne Division, 1st Battalion, 327th Infantry, C Company. On August 18th, 1967, Staff Sergeant Mitchell lost his life in the line of duty as a result of small arms fire in the Quang Tinh province of South Vietnam. Affectionately known as Freddie, he was married to Ann Hogan at the time of his passing, who was the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Alton Glenn Hogan, who also lived here in the city of Grovetown. As a result of his service, Staff Sergeant Mitchell received the following awards and commendations: the Combat Infantryman Badge, the Purple Heart, Marksmanship Badge, Parachutist Badge, National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, Army Presidential Unit Citation, and Vietnam Gallantry Cross. In honoring him, his name can also be found on the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. If you're ever there, it's on Panel E, line 13. We thank Staff Sergeant Mitchell for his bravery, sacrifice, and love of this country. He was truly a homegrown, hometown hero. And we will not let his memory go quietly away.
Thank you for that, Richard. Item 10, bit.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Excuse me for interrupting. I know I said I was finished. I wonder, because I suspect, and unfortunately, Staff Sergeant Mitchell's family, his wife passed away, and we haven't been able to get other family members here. If I know I'm going to put her on the spot, but I suspect that former Councilwoman Dr. Martin knew Staff Sergeant Mitchell. And I just wanted to know and I wanted to allow her to say some words if she would so like to. I know I'm putting you on the spot, and I didn't ask you this, so forgive me, but.
Well, I would say that he was very well thought of in the community, as well as his wife and his children and family. I lost contact. I'm not sure if the children or grandchildren are still in the area, but maybe between myself and Ms. Matthews, we can find out. Because it would be an honor to be able to present them.
That would be great. Thank you, ma'am.
And if we can't find a relative to give it to, we'll mount it here at City Hall.
Yeah. Thank you. Please don't beat me up for putting you on the spot. Okay.
Okay, item 10, Business Spotlight, Public Information Officer Jordan Johnson.
I'm going to have Councilwoman Rivera Player join me up here today. She's the one who brought this business to our attention and decided that they deserved a business spotlight. So if I could please have the Augusta Spine and Pain Specialist crew come up to the podium and join me here. Miss Elaine usually handles this, our city administrator, but she couldn't be here this evening, so I'm going to take it over for you guys and give you all some citywide recognition. First, thank you all for coming tonight. A business spotlight is something we do at each and every meeting where we honor a local business and say thanks for participating in the business community and choosing to call Grovetown home. A little bit about the Augusta Spine and Pain Specialists as nominated by our councilwoman here. They are located at 5180 Wrightsboro Road and are a locally owned medical practice led by a dual board certified physician specializing in neurology and pain management. They offer advanced, evidence-based treatments, including stem cell therapy, platelet-rich plasma, radiofrequency ablation, spinal cord stimulation for chronic pain, steroid and gel injections, and peripheral nerve stimulation for joint pain. They accept all major medical insurance plans and pride themselves on minimal wait times, typically under 20 minutes, which in today's time is pretty swift. Every patient receives direct face-to-face care from the physician at each visit. Having served the community since October of 2023, they have treated many of our citizens here in the city of Grovetown, and we appreciate them for their contributions to not only our business community, but to the health of our residents as well. So we are grateful that they've chosen Grovetown as their home, and we're proud to shine our business spotlight on you all for the excellent work you all do. And we are here to present you all with this certificate here for the Business Spotlight. You can feel free to proudly hang it in your establishment and let everybody know that we appreciate you. Would you like to say a few words? Yeah, please.
It's an honor for us to be recognized in such a way in the city of Grovetown. We're just doing our job, and we believe in serving the community. And yes, as being said, we accept all major medical insurances. We also help the patients involved in motor vehicle accidents, even without insurance. And we try to do our best and bring the most advanced technology in the town. As I went to a university program in St. Louis, and I'm trying to replicate a lot of training that I received from a big place into a small town like Grovetown. So we can still get the best as far as chronic pain and neurology is concerned. Thank you very much.
Let's get a photo. Step in front here. And I'll give you this step in the pole. We can all step in the front.
Oh, in the front, in the front.
Okay, item 11 has already been covered. Item 12, citizen comments. We have one from a Grovetown citizen, Ms. Carla Harrison. Topic of concern is growth.
Hello.
Hello.
Surprise, it's me. There was a couple things I wanted to come and talk about. I did attend the planning meeting this last time, and I said a couple of things there that I just kind of wanted to echo here because I know not too many people watch that. Put my glasses on so I don't forget anything this time. So my biggest concern is we're going to continue growing, and we're in a boom, and we know the developers are going to be, if it's already zoned one thing, we can't stop them. It's going to be what it's going to be, and I recognize that you all have addressed some of those zoning issues and are getting them fixed. My biggest concern is public notice. Things have changed a little bit where it used to be in a Columbia County newspaper that it was put up. That one is no more, so it's only put in the Richmond County Augusta Chronicle, which is a very small thing, and not too many people are aware of it. And as we go through the process of developing things, sometimes it takes years. So I'm going to use this last one that I talked about last month as an example, but it's by no means restricted to this and nothing against this development. But I did have some questions on this particular one because it is coming in on Newmantown Road. And I was told a couple of things that did not turn out to be accurate. So one of the things I was told is that the property was going to have 2 ways in and 2 ways out, that was something the fire department had mandated. So when I went to the meeting, that is not the case. There is 1 way in, 1 way out for 176 units. That's 400 cars. 1 way in, 1 way out. Nightmare for police, nightmare for fire, nightmare for ambulance, nightmare for traffic, everything. Now there is an additional little inlet outlet for a few isolated buildings, but it's not for the whole development. It's not going to open up close to VFW Road so that a stoplight or 4-way stop could eventually be put there, like I was told. It doesn't line up at all because of the wetlands. And part of the problem with this is it was approved back in 2022. So the zoning then is not the zoning now. So they're able to do some things there that, future developers can't do. But I wanted to point out those things specifically because I was told those were addressed with this development, and they clearly were not. As a matter of fact, the developer, when I asked about it at the Planning Commission meeting, said, I was never told 2 in and 2 out. This is the first I've heard of it. So I don't know where the disconnect was there, but for me, that's a pretty big disconnect. The other disconnect is this was approved in 2022 with the annexation and the planning, and this meeting was just for the final plot approval, plat, however you call it, which I understand. But now there's this big land disturbance at Liberty Park, and then there's this one right next to it. It happens. That's not a big deal. What is a big deal is that there's no signs for this development. There was no signs talking about the Planning Commission meeting, so people could at least come and understand what's going on. It was put in the newspaper on January 15th. Yeah, it was put in there for January 15th. That sure didn't give the community any kind of notice to go to the planning office and say, hey, can I see the plans for that? What you're putting there, I'd like to know. I live close to it. It's going to impact my work path that I go, or it's going to impact where, my kids are playing softball or soccer, and just have some questions. So my ask is that when it is put out in the public notice in the newspaper, I know it's not required, but could you post some signs? I don't think we're a bare minimum kind of community, most especially as we're going to be growing and you know, we got apartments going in on the main street, we got condos going in on the back streets. It's a lot of growth, and it's a lot, and people don't realize it. Kind of like with the land disturbance at the park. Y'all talked about it, you know, in this venue. I know it was talked about a lot. People don't really pay attention until it's like, oh my God, what is happening there? I got so many people ask me, what's happening across the street from you? What are they doing? What, you know, just panic. Oh my God, the trees are gone. And, you know, I knew it was coming only because I'm very active here. So I just wonder, can't we utilize some of our marquees or some public notice signage? Just a way to let people know things are happening. And it's happening right now on a main street, but it's going to happen on all of our back streets everywhere we go. Everywhere where there's vacant land, we know the developers are out there just waiting. And they're going to do, if it's in the zoning, by God, they're going to do every single square inch of it that they can get. And I get it. I understand. It is what it is. I just think that we can do better as a community. We can do better when those public notices go up. If you know that there's a planning council meeting or a commission meeting, the date that that meeting goes out there, that information is available in-house. Why is it not available online somewhere? We've got a lot of people that are, you know, really savvy with social media. Why aren't those applications and things put online the way they are for Columbia County? If Columbia County has something, I can go and look at it. As soon as they announce it, it's online, or they don't announce it. It goes to the next month. If they can't meet those deadlines for their community notification, that I don't know if those are solid ones they do or if it's internal, but I hope we can do some internal. I hope we can just really do better with public notice. As you guys are all aware, public input, public participation is pretty much null until they drive by and say, oh my God, what's happening? And by then it's too late. It's too late for the people who find out they're going to be living next to a townhouse development. It's too late for them to object to it. It's too late for them to go in and say, look, we spent 30 years getting our yard the way we want it to where we can have family events and all this, and now we're going to be overshadowed by a 2-story complex of something or something up on the hill that is now going to be in my backyard. It's just simply too late. So my ask is just that as a city, we do better. Whether it's a requirement or not, let's look out for each other. Let's look out for our homes. Let's look out for our neighbors and give everybody that opportunity. I know the opportunity is out there already, but let's jump up and down and say, come on, guys, look over here. Look at this big sign we're going to put out here. We didn't have to, but we're doing it for you. So that's my ask. And the other thing I wanted to address is something else I addressed at that meeting, and that is our Planning Commission. Again, too late to do anything about it. I'm going to ask that you all look forward in the future and hopefully make some more, some decisions that present better optics. We have 2 active real estate agents on our Planning Commission. You want to talk about a major conflict of interest. They do business with our developers. They sell homes in this area, CSRA, if they're not doing it directly in Grovetown. Somebody who is making business off of the city's business, sitting on a codified commission, doesn't look good. So I hope as times expire, or if you want to make immediate changes, whatever, but I hope that that's something you all take into consideration, because it really doesn't look good at all. And finally, on a good point, I just wanted to say about our police department, and kind of funny that it's happening tonight while you're here with good stuff. I wanted to point out Columbia County, and I'm sure you guys are aware, they are phasing out their cameras. They don't have body cameras. The sheriff has deemed them unnecessary and a nuisance and an expense he doesn't want to bother with. And I just want to make sure that the citizens here in Grovetown understand that we have a chief of police that would following his sword over body cameras, and those cameras in the cars, those are even being phased out apparently in Columbia County. I am so thankful that we have a chief of police who will never, ever, ever allow a single one of our officers out there without a body camera, and I want everybody to please do a little research and understand how significant those things are and how much they truly matter. They protect the citizens, but more importantly, they protect those people who are out there laying their lives on the line for us each and every day, keeping our kids as drug-free as possible, dealing with our mental health people in the community. As a military community, we have a high number of PTSD sufferers. And as you saw from the situation tonight, they are trained, they know what they're doing, and they have those cameras so that, God forbid, things go sideways, they're not going to lose their career over it because they've got a chief who cared enough to make sure that they had their butts covered with those cameras. So I just want to say a huge thank you, Chief, because I know that's an expensive thing to have, but it is such a significant thing to have. So thank you. Anybody
you.
have questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Richard, if you would, you and Jack and Jordan worked together on this. I think she brought up some good points about doing the bare minimum on posting things. Get with Jack on his expertise in that particular area, and let's see what we can do to improve that area.
Can I ask a question of Ms. Harrison? I mean, and I know you said something about putting a billboard, and maybe you didn't say billboard, but something. What are some of your suggestions in knowing people in the community? And I know you know a lot of them. What are some of the ways that you would suggest? I don't know that we can do them, but at least as part of our discussions, what are some of the ways that you think that you know that people would perk up and pay attention, that you know that we could get them coming out? Because that is something. I mean, participation is something just like John was talking about earlier for trying to have public meetings when we were doing our comprehensive plan. We were able to get people out. But, you know, we're not a big community, but given the size of our community, it would have been great to see more faces there with, you know, asking questions and sharing their thoughts with us. Do you have some, you know, a laundry list of ideas? Again, I'm not promising you that we can do all these, but certainly that might help us in finding a way, since you may know things that people have said, like, well, if they would just do this, I would know about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, utilize the things you've already got. The social media platform is good, but I will say we have an aging community, and those folks are not active on social media. What they do look at each and every month is their utility bill, and you're welcome to put inserts in there from what I understand. You know, so maybe a notification about the upcoming developments or something like that in there. I know the Mayor's Corner newsletter is there occasionally. You're doing it quarterly or something? So maybe just in addition to that, or as adjunct to that, is, you know, just a community update on growth. You know, we're looking at townhomes over here and single homes over here and new roads over here, and here's what we're doing at the park or whatever. But that, I know every single person looks at when they get their bill. They open that up and they look at it. And the other thing I would say is just the public notice signs. They can go up. At times, they're not required. They can be a gift. They can, you know, they can be up there because they're bigger now. There might not be anybody to pay for them, or you know, maybe you charge the developer. I don't know. Y'all can figure all that out. But I know when they see those big signs, they pay attention. But the key with those is if you put up a sign and you put it up for 30 days, which I don't know what the requirement is. I thought it used to be 30 days. Now I'm told it's only 15 days. I like 30 days. I like longer. Longer's better because people don't pay attention to it every day. But when you put it up there with a date and a time of a meeting, then, ensure that that information is readily available online, because sure, they can get in the car and they can come down to planning office, but will they? Probably not. But if they can go online, they'll do it. They'll get their kids to print it out, or, something like that, or a neighbor will do it. So just, y'all have great tools. I just think they're underutilized. You got a great marquee, and I very rarely see any updated information on it other than closures. But, so just that kind of stuff. Like I said, there's already great things in place. They're just not really being utilized. So,
Thank you,
okay.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 13 is old business. We have none. Item 14, new business. 14A, recommend adoption of resolution 2026-02-01, 5-year update of the 2026 through 2031 comprehensive plan.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I make the motion that we adopt Resolution 2026-02-01, 5-year update of the 2026-2031 Comprehensive Plan.
Mr. Mayor, I will second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, cast your votes. Motion carries. 14B, recommend adoption of resolution 2026-02-02, resolution to declare items as surplus property.
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion for the adoption of Resolution 2026-02-02, a resolution to declare items as surplus property.
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, cast your votes. Motion carries. Item 15, Director's Reports. Assistant City Administrator.
Yes, sir. Just a few announcements real quick. This Thursday, the Chamber will be hosting their backyard barbecue event. This is to replace their annual banquet. The doors do open at 4:30. So from 4:30 to 5:30 is a little meet and greet, welcome hour. The banquet starts at 6:30. Again, it'll be barbecue. I don't know who's going to be hosting it or serving, but it will be there. I know a few of the council members have already signed up. If you're still interested and have not yet, please get with us tomorrow, and we will work with Jordan and see if we can get you a seat there. The Valentine's event, it's coming up. The Golden Years for Golden Hearts. It's going to be on Saturday, February 14th. It will be at the Depot, so look forward, and if you're able to come, we'd love to have you. And then the last announcement I have is our budget offsite. Not this Friday, but next Friday. We're going to be doing that on February 20th. It will be at the Depot, so Mayor and Council, make sure you plan to attend for me. It'll start at 9. I have it listed from 9 to 1. Typically, we don't go to 1. However, if it does continue that long.
What are you serving, steak and baked potato?
Oh, listen, if you do that, y'all gonna fall asleep. I think I'm just gonna give you a bunch of Monster Energies, so make sure y'all can stay awake for the 4 hours. So just let me know which one's your favorite color. Let me know, and I'll make sure that they're
I like the white ones.
the white ones. Yeah, that's a favorite. But no, so from 9 to 1, we'll make sure that we'll be covering a lot of material. Each of the directors will be bringing a list of wants to go over with you for next year's budget offsite. So you'll be meeting with your respective departments. So be prepared, but as I always like to remind people, budgets are finite. So, they're going to want everything, so we can't give them everything. But anyways, looking forward to it. But that's all I have tonight, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. City Clerk, anything? Human Resources? Finance, obviously nothing to cover there. General Services? Utility Services? Planning and Development? Police Department? Fire Rescue? Public Information Officer? Well,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
all in favor? Cast your vote. We are adjourned. Thank you for coming.